Hello, greetings. This is Gilles Mancion. I wanted to say hello, to come by, and I hope you're celebrating life, for life is something magical, extraordinary, and we are all part of this amazing process. We have to let go of all the limitation of our consciousness in order to be free to move into a state of joy. And on those words, I'm going to ask an oracle from the angels. For angels are higher beings of light. They are eternal beings of divine grace and wisdom. And they are here to serve and to assist us in many ways. So we have to open our consciousness to this frequency of light. For we are destined to become human angels. This is the highest aspiration. The ascended master are those human beings who have been elevated into the state of grace and angelic manifestation of creation. For we have that. We have the potential for within us to follow the guidance of the heart, and from there we'll discover all kinds of new aspects of ourselves that will eternally free us from the limitation of this world. The highest wisdom for us today is patience, for we have to allow the divine timing to come into alignment for the convergence of energy. For humans, we are often in a hurry, we want to get things moving, which makes sense in some level, but there is a divine timing when things are ripe, things happen naturally. So what we need to understand is creation, to understand our creation, to understand the creation, to understand the mind of God, how things work in life, what is your part in the great play of creation. For you are a divine being of light that is here to create and to create a better life for yourself and for all your environment, for everyone around us. For we are, in many sense, for those who are already attuned to this path of ascensions, are light workers, they are way showers, they are teachers for all of humanity needs this consciousness. Very, very few people are even aware of the divine, the divine aspect of themselves, of the potential of ascensions, of the cosmic planes, of the galactic planes. What we need to do is forgiveness. So it is very important to forgive others, forgive ourselves. For we are he who has never sinned may throw the first stone. For we are fallible. We are humans. We all have our flaws. We all make our mistakes. And some people are on a lower cycle, and some other people are on a higher cycle. For those who are acting out of consciousness with that in a hurtful way, do not do it by choice. It's because they do not have the wisdom to act in any other way. For that is from wisdom of Socrates and Plato. So it is good to forgive, for the Christ came here to teach us forgiveness, to allow ourselves to move into the divine unity, to forgive good and evil, to move into the light, to move into that which is truly good. And the general message for us is purification, for there is a need to purify our thoughts, to purify our mind, to purify our intention, to purify our physical body, to purify our life habits, all kinds of things that we can do to fortify, to augment the power of light, love, and wisdom within us through the courage of perfecting our character. I wanted to say that it's absolutely normal that even when we move into this state of desire for ascension, we begin to feel all kinds of new energies and we are moving, but we keep a foot in the old world. It's a slow process of transformation. We all go back to the human side of ourselves and even to the old past. It is part of the process. It is like a dance, and we have to accept that to keep a foot or an antenna in many dimensions. But even if we are returned back to the old cycle, we can always breathe and return to center, allow ourselves to calm down and to move back into this sphere of acceptance and joy. It is also very important to drop the shield, for this life can be brutal and everybody's been hurt by some aspect of life, and so we have developed this bubble of protection that shields us from the world. But if we need to discover the higher self, we have to burst outside of the bubble, outside of the box, in order to experience life and to be able to move into a total state of love and joy and happiness and beyond so we have to learn to drop the shields. I wanted to say also that either we're nourishing the ego or we're nourishing the soul, and we have to do. We have a tendency to nourish a lot more the ego than the soul, and that is a bit of the problem, a lack of spirituality within the human society. And so, because when we nourish the ego, we are nourishing sensory pleasure in many sense, and so it's instant gratification and so on. But when we nourish the soul, we are working on perfecting our character, on our love, our ability to serve others, and our lucidity, our ability to understand wisdom. Eventually we have to have a balanced life. For the ego, it's quite necessary to have some kind of understanding of what the purpose of the ego is. It is not the enemy. For the ego is, for instance, when we first, before we can serve God and the universe, we have to take care of our personal issues, to be free to move into the business of creation, to serve a higher purpose, to serve a higher vision, to put the energy towards the creation of a collective dream that will allow us to break free from this matrix of bondage. For it is part. If we created, when we separated from the source, God let us go, and He said, "Be you perfect." As we move back into the divine perfection, we are reintegrating those divine law. We are aligning with the divine will. We are aligning with divine order, and so the separation was created so we could find this extreme joy of reconnecting, rediscovering this divine light. So there is great purpose within all things in creation. But in many sense, when we do personal things for ourselves, we are in expectation of result. For it is good to trust God in all things, in all ways, to surrender everything to God, whether it is personal on the physical plane. For God is wise and has all the power to manifest anything. So in many sense, but when we do things for ourselves, like in business, we are moving A, B, C, D in order to get to a result. But when we are in the work for God, we do things without expectations. We do this for pure just because of love, because of light, because of wisdom, so that we share what we have in order to and then God will do whatever He will do with that information. Things will so it's good to be free from outcome when we are in the service of creation. For it is good to know that we have to take care of ourselves first, but in many sense we also have to if we can move beyond that limitation of taking care of ourselves and start to think of collective good, that then we're moving into a state that is far more integrated with the next level of the program. So the card of the day for us today is the 8 of Ariel from the archangels. Archangels are super angels, but they also are ascending beings. For angels will evolve into archangels, and well, not really, but they will achieve archangelic level of service, and archangel will become evening stars. They will move into higher service of in the universe. And here Ariel is saying you can be proud of the work you have accomplished. It is by practicing that we are learning. Think about returning to study or formation. For education is essential. In all the constitution of the future, there will be within all the constitution of the states or the community or the civilization the need to learn from the cradle to the grave. That education is mandatory for all beings from every day. I'm not saying that everybody's got to be schooled or has to be policed in order to learn, but education should be encouraged at every age and all the time. We always have to nourish our soul, when we learn something, we are expanding our consciousness, and so education is the center of all things. It is by education that we'll move into the next level. And from the past life card, here we have the Celtics. The Celtics is a very, very important connection to this world. It is the return to the understanding of health through the understanding of medicine through the plants as well. There is all kinds of magical and mystical power within nature that we have already mastered in past life, and so it is just about reintegrating this knowledge. For many things can happen, miracles can happen. Be open to miracle. It is very important. Finally, I wanted to discuss a little bit something that a great guide and friend, his name is Metatron, he's a great archangel. A few years ago, he made a communication about for those who travel in airplanes a lot, and he recommended that we wear gold or platinum bracelets or copper if we don't have access, but it's not probably as good as gold or platinum. And then we would have to have, in order to reinforce the aura, because the planet is a spaceship that moves around the solar system and around the galaxy. The solar system moves around the central sun, and then there there is all kinds of procession in the universe, but there is an electromagnetic field. All our cells have been grown and lived, all our physical body is used to this electromagnetic pulse of the earth. It is a gravity conditioning, so to speak, and when we move into a certain altitude, when we travel, we have a tendency to break outside of the Schumann pulse, and that creates a rupture within our own electromagnetic field that we call the aura. So Metatron recommended that we wear those bracelets, and if possible, on each hand, to have a ring with a diamond, a pure diamond with no flaws, that would be at least 3.5 carat, in order to create to reinforce the aura to the point where it would be enough to travel in whichever, not necessarily permanently, but it would definitely reconnect. But it's not necessarily easy. I think the idea of the bracelet is quite manageable, whether even in copper. So it is something that, because most airliners don't fly so high in, that they might go. They are inside the weather, but all the private jets fly way above. But yet, with our new technologies, the cabin pressurization is getting better, so we can travel easier with the new technologies. Just have to finish with a little, it's an anecdote. They say, well, in civilization, when they have when they travel among, like starships, visitors, they say to never go into a spaceship if it creates a noise. For an air or space transport vehicle, the fact that it is silent is a minimum guarantee of its safety. For it is, if it makes a noise, that means the technology is not mastered yet. Yet we do not have a choice on the Earth. We come from a long, we will get there eventually. We create silent technology. A little anecdote: the first person who conceived the plane, it was Leonardo da Vinci, where he was a glider, where he wanted to do it in a bat format, when the Falcon would have been more appropriate, but he didn't have the materials to create this glider, so he could actually work. And so, but he made a prototype, and he was living in Florence at the time, or so they said, and he tried to jump from a bridge in order to fly. He wanted to fly. That was the dream of Leonardo da Vinci. And he made a portrait of him as an aviator. And so that was his dream, to fly. But instead of flying, he fell into the river. And so he was ridiculed, humiliated, and nobody took him seriously. He had to expatriate himself to France, where he found the support of François I. And where it's kind of a good thing that this happened, because in France we have a number of his paintings and as part of the patrimoine of France. And so flying has always been a dream, and for many ages people say, well, you're crazy, men do not fly. And now they have created airplanes, and soon we'll discover that we can fly without airplanes, but that is still we'll have to discover anti-gravity and all kinds of things that we'll discover, that amazing things that will come into in this generation. Amazing discoveries will be made. And so I hope you enjoyed this message. I'm going to finish with a little song. It's just goes through my head, and it's a very song about hope and about the power to fly, the power to move beyond the limitation of the world. I like the new version, but I'm going to stick with the old text to sing it. So it goes like this. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream ready to come true. Someday I wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Then why, oh why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I? And so we'll manage that, we'll go beyond the rainbow, and then you will stick on the yellow brick road all the way back to the source. Well, I hope this message was interesting. I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you for everything, and then I'll talk to you later. Namaste.